They try to break me, try to take me out, but I got Jesus on my side. So bad I thought I could die, but ain't no power stronger than the one that came and laid down his life. And I got mountains to climb, but the enemy can't stop me, cause there's a calling on my life. So when I'm crying, don't last too long, cause he gon' step in and make it alright. Won't he do it? He said he would. Find your battles for you, then go wonder how you sleep at night. Won't he do it? I guess he will. And ain't nobody tell you something different, you know that's a lie. You gon' look back and be so amazed how it turned out, it's only his grace. Won't he do it? He said he would. So I trust him at all times. I'm about to lose it again. I'm about to let him know where I'm from. Don't take me there again. I call on Jesus, my friend. Get me back in line one more time, cause he's always listening. Ain't nobody perfect, everybody's hurting. Need your whisper, Lord, save me from my weaknesses, cause you're always on time. Come and get your breakthrough, cause I'm gonna get mine. Find your battles for you, then go wonder how you sleep at night. Won't he do it? I guess he will. And ain't nobody tell you something different, you know that's a lie. You gon' look back and be so amazed how it turned out, it's only his grace. Won't he do it? He said he would. So I'll trust him at all times. So you see what the enemy planned for my downfall turned out to be the greatest victory of my life. So when it comes at your fast and hard, there's only one that can come and make it right. So we don't need for stressing and crying, cause he gon' show up just like he did the last time. And the last time, and the last time. I know, I know, I know. Won't he do it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Won't he do it? I guess he will. And ain't nobody tell you something different, you know that's a lie. You gon' look back and be so amazed how it turned out, it's only his grace. Won't he do it? He said he would. So I trust him at all times.
All times, all times.
So I'll trust him at all times.
All times, all times.
So I'll trust him at all times.
All times, all times.
So I'll trust him at all times. All times, all times.
Hey YouTube! Thank you so much for watching my channel. I hope that these videos have been a blessing to you. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace. They try to take me, they try to...
Hey, hey, no, 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 yeah, yeah. People keep on learning. Soldiers keep on warring. World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Cowards keep on lying, while your people they keep on dying. Yeah, 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 yeah. World keep on turning, 'cause you know it won't be too long. Yeah, 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 yeah. Said I thought I'm glad he let me try it again, 'cause the last time I love I learned the whole world does it. Said I'm down, I'm glad I know more than I know then. Gonna keep on trying, yeah, till I reach for higher ground. Yeah, 'cause no one's gonna let me down.
like when I do that. But that's in honor of my mom that I love so much. I'm trying to make Denise understand. Seriously, it's a playback in life. They say you know, don't make fun of your parents. And I remember, you know, being in school as I got a little older and getting that edumacation, as old folks used to call it. And as I got more of that edumacation, you start to really judge your parents. Because you start to say, wait a minute. That's not the right word. What are you doing? And it becomes all of these things, and your parents start to say, wait a minute, you don't really got full of yourself. You don't question what I say. And my mom used to come out and say, woo, I'm tired. And we'd be like, okay, but what's for dinner and what's the screaming for? You know? And she would be like, how dare you? My thing about it is, when I say woo, it's a good woo. Because I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be looking at my host. And every time we get in on this show and I look across at her and I know she's going to be fly, she's going to give me something good every time. I know we're about to do some business. We're about to get started up in here. I'm going to move something for a second and come right back. All right, so listen. I got the lovely, wonderful, beautiful Denise Marie Mens Harris. I didn't see that, Marie. No wonder you're so beautiful. We're going to leave that alone. She about to bring the gay out of me when I was in high school. Girl, I thought was beautiful. Anyway, let's get back focused. I got my co-host here. We sitting under the bridge, minding our own business as we do. Conversating about us, politics and life as we always do. And we were trying to figure out what we were going to title this show, and it hit us. We are here to help you. So I said, Denise, we're going to tell them help is on the way. And if we can, with the power within us, with every breath in our body, we're going to try to help you every chance we get on every show. And we're going to make it as simple as we can make it. Meaning, we just want to know one thing. Can you handle the trouble? I am Dion Johnson. That is Denise Marie Mens Harris. And yes, she's the daughter of a legacy, Al Mens. I still got to talk to her about that. That's another subject. I still want to learn how to dance. It's never too late. And I don't give up on my dreams.
Right.
But listen. What I do want to know from Denise is, how was your week?
My week was very, 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 very productive. I had a lot of projects. They're all jumping in the right direction. Family's doing great. Everything's really, really good. It was a great week. How was yours?
You know what? Thanks to you, my weeks have been very, very, very productive. And I'm feeling amazing about it. God sent this angel to get me out of my funk and to remind me that I had work to do. And to get up off my lazy, don't you feel sorry for yourself ass and do what you need to do. Y'all think the little queen don't curse. She's just respectful. She won't do it with you guys, but I get the L. Anyway, we're here to handle the trouble. And I was texting Denise, and I'm so glad that she loves what she does, because you guys don't have a clue aside from what we do here with you guys on Sunday and gonna be doing and did last season. This woman works. Denise works. She is about it. I am so proud to know that I'm bringing someone to our table, to our supper, that's gonna give you a full meal. She gonna give it to you. You saw the little song where they had Shirley Caesar where it said greens, beans, potatoes. That's Denise. And if you don't understand it, when she finishes, we got prayer. We got prayer and faith, because you're going to understand it. She helps me sometimes. Yes, I need it sometimes. After the other day when I was watching everything that was going on that we're going to talk about. But first, we're going to talk about inflation.
Yeah.
I really do, because Denise, now I need your help for that. Because I went in the damn grocery store and I almost walked out and left the basket.
Right.
And I mean, left the basket that we had already bagged. The girl had bagged, and I'm standing there. And when she told me the price, I almost said, F it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. What is
crazy.
going on, Denise? A thing of syrup. Syrup. Mrs. Butterworth. Not the big bottle. The itty bitty bottle was $5.39. Talk to me.
Yeah. So actually, this whole financial crisis began during COVID because so many truckers got sick. So the products weren't moving. And so this whole thing about supply chain, boats, there was nobody to unload the boats. We kept hearing about that. All the boats backed up. So Biden sent in all kinds of extra bodies to help unload the boats and clear out the clogging up of the supply chain. But when the supply chain got clogged up, then the scarcity of what we do day to day got bigger. So it was harder and harder to get. We remember going in the store and the shelves were empty. So then what happened was, once the supply chain got unclogged, the corporations did not want to lower their prices back. So even though I wrote it down so that I would get the numbers right, even though the supply chain is no longer an issue, corporate profits went up 25%.
What?
So what they did is it's called price gouging. They went up that high because they can get away with it because there were no laws protecting them because this is America and, you know, the market drives the cost. So the corporate profits went up, which increased the monthly cost of living for average family of 4 by $433. So even though wages
Wait. Say that again.
it increased the monthly cost of living for a family of 4 by $433 just for goods and services. We're talking about groceries, gas, etc. Now, hourly wages rose 5.7%, but the cost of inflation, no one's enjoying the increase in how much they're earning because it's getting eaten up. I mentioned the other day that meat, the increase in meat is horrible, and that there are only 4 companies that control all the meat distributed in the United States. I wanted to come back and tell you who those 4 companies are. One is called JBS,
Okay.
Smithfield, Tyson Foods, and Cargill. They control all the meat and the cost of it in our country. So it's almost like back in the day when all the phone service was owned by Bell Telephone, and they passed laws to break that up because there was no competition. When you only have 4 companies doing meat in this country, there's no competition. So inflation is not going to go down without some kind of legislative push to make it go down, because they are reaping in profits like they've never had before, and there's nothing stopping them from continuing that.
Okay, so this is not really right now a legislative issue because it has nothing to do with Joe Biden.
Joe Biden has nothing to do with setting the price of food or oil or gas or any of that. He has nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with it. He tries to offset it when prices went up because the supply chain was clogged up at the ports. He sent in National Guard and whoever else he could muster to unplug that. When gas was going too high, he's releasing all of the oil that the United States holds in reserve. He's doing that. And so gas went down like 5 or 10 cents. Not much, but it moved the needle somewhat. So wherever he can manipulate something to give some relief, he's doing his best. He was giving families $300 a month And I know for some young families that are in my family, that they said to me, boy, that $300 a month comes in handy every month. And then the Senate wouldn't pass it to continue. So these families are struggling again with inflation continuing to increase. The point is, how we solve it, that's going to have to become legislative. There's, I lived in New York City. I grew up in New York City. And we would have these horrible snowstorms. And snow that would come up to my head.
Yeah.
I open my door, the snow's up here. And so the stores, when you would shovel out and go to the store, they'd be selling a quart of milk for like $10. So they passed laws that said you can't price gouge. And I think we need some relief. The problem is that all of these goods and services and food also have major lobbies in Washington.
Wow.
And so it's hard to get some relief.
So we only have four that supply meat. Now, I know you're not the president or but for the people out there, what can they do? What can we do about this?
What's the remedy?
Yes.
I think the thing is that I feel like everybody's just got their head down and they're suffering through it. And I think that when you make a noise, when you start flooding your representative with phone calls about we need some relief, something's got to give, then they're like, oh, I'm being held responsible for this. I better get on it and do something about it. Maxine Waters, when she became the head of the Bank and Finance Committee, I remember she gave a speech and she's like, I have the gavel and I'm not afraid to use it.
I remember that.
And I remember one time many years ago, I bounced a check that I'd written at B of A. And every time that check went, and I had to wait 2 weeks to get paid to do anything about it. But that person kept sending the check in. That little $15 check that bounced, I got hit with a $35 fee 3 times. That's $105.
Mm.
I got a letter from B of A yesterday that now they are no longer going to charge that $35 fee. That they will make you aware that you have a insufficient fund here. You have X amount of time to cover it. And if you don't cover it within X amount of time, they cover it and they'll charge you $10. And I know that's Maxine Waters doing her thing. I know that because people who bounce checks are already broke. And then you're going to squeeze them out of their money? That if they had the money, the check wouldn't have bounced.
And a lot of people, it's funny you said B of A, because a lot of people don't deal with B of A because of that. They should think they deliberately were sending the checks back through. I'm serious. I've heard somebody say that. They know damn well they sending it back themselves to charge me.
So it's a process. It's a process. And there may not be any relief soon, but we need to know what to lay at Biden's feet that he has control over and what to not lay at his feet. Right now, I looked it up. At this time in Trump's administration, he had a 42% approval rating.
Mm-hmm.
Biden has a 43% approval rating. The days of having 50% and better are not going to happen anymore. The country's too polarized. So all these people wringing their hands, oh my goodness, look at this. Stop it. This is good. This is good. I was listening to the person who was the director of communications when the second Bush was in office. And he said, 43%, we would have given anything to get a 43% approval rating. So this whole feeling about we're losing, actually, I don't think we're losing. I believe we're going to pick up Senate seats, and I believe we're going to pick up seats in the Congress. I'm not worried.
Well, the thing about it too, as I was discussing, I was thinking about it, and it's the truth. I was looking at, and I said, you know, when Obama first got in office, his ratings were around the same with Biden. He may have been a few points higher. Obama's rating did not go up through the roof, and he became likable until he was about to leave, and people saw that it was Hillary and Trump. Well, 44 and a half. But then he became, oh my God, the best thing we ever had. Can we get him to stay? In retrospect, though, of that, you brought up something we need to talk about. And everybody, make sure we understand something. Denise and I are here for you. And I ask her the questions because behind these answers not only come investigative knowledge, but a lot of wisdom. And because she has been dabbling, like I say, between the two of us with politics, we share about 40 years, and I think I carry 10 of those. And it may be more. But in retrospect, this is so that we understand where we are and what we're doing. Denise told you last show, and I told you, we cannot afford to sleep. We cannot afford to rest. I'm sorry. I wish. It reminds me of what my mom used to say, religious, and say, man has but so many days, but it's more trials and tribulations. We have a job to do, and we owe it to our children and their children. And I'm sorry, we can't sleep on this. And you can't walk around in the blind. Here's the other thing. She's been talking about Biden. She opened the door for me. I happen to think that Joe Biden is doing a great job. I always did. My problem was I wish Biden would be tough enough, but I really think that he thinks things through. Just like what the governor did in Texas. Now, there's nothing said about it. As you said. Now, had Biden said anything, it made him look like a blasted fool because you saw that now, just the other day, I sent you an article where people are complaining, and they ain't just black people. They're saying, why are you holding these trucks up? You're doing this deliberately because it's election season, and you're trying to make, and see, she's already fixed that. We've already talked about that with inflation. Has nothing to do with Joe Biden. What do you think Joe Biden is doing right now? Where is he at right now, Denise? What do you think we stand with Joe Biden?
I am certain, actually, that Joe Biden is getting ready to travel a lot around the country and explain exactly what he's achieved. This infrastructure bill he got passed is no joke. There are so many things he's accomplished in 1 year. I wrote some stuff down. He added 7.9 million jobs in 1 year. No president ever added that many jobs. He increased wages because of his steps. Wages went up 5.7%. Cut the deficit by 1.3 trillion. He's getting ready to travel around the country and let folks know exactly what we've accomplished with his administration. And that and see them face to face, because he's that kind of guy. He's the guy who you want to come to your barbecue and have a beer and talk it out. And, you know, I mean, this is the guy who told Obama when they signed Obamacare, he's like, this is a big effing deal. He's that guy. And plain spoken, man of heart, man of compassion, man of empathy, but he got consumed with what's going on in Europe. But he wants to get back to dealing with what's going on here, because he's got to protect the Congress having a Democratic majority and the Senate having a Democratic majority, or he's done. His agenda's done. Nothing else will get passed. So for us, for those of us who think progressively, liberally, unashamedly, we need to understand that even if you're only sending $5 or $10, these candidates need our financial support. If you have friends and relatives in those states, you need to be harassing them to make sure they're engaging and that they're voting and that they're taking others with them, because we have to stop the momentum of backwards, bigoted legislation. We cannot let it gain momentum and a foothold in our country. And that's what's really going on here. And that's what we have to stop. And we're not going to be able to control it if we're only thinking about our little world. And when I mean our little world, well, Dion, you were talking about it earlier. What do we mean when we say you can't just think about your little world?
Yeah, I was just saying, and I told you remind me of that, and it's the perfect time. She's saying what I was saying to Denise. I said, we can't just say what's going on in that state, you know what I mean, doesn't affect me in this state, because that state, every state affects each state. If not now, today, it will tomorrow. Because we, in looking at everything that's going on, it seems like for the abortion rights people and our pro-choice people, that it's happening in the South. Denise, the last show, called out the states. Now, they all were red states. But if we allow red states, see, red states are red states because they hold a seat by the Republican Party, by the red. It only takes voting for that to change. A blue state can become a red state. And somebody's waiting. There's some Republican may be waiting to get his hands on California. And then guess what's going to happen? So what I'm saying is, I'm going to send money. I'm not just talking. I'm sending money to Texas. I'm definitely sending money to Florida. What's the governor's name? The guy's running for governor against DeSantis.
Christie.
Yeah. We were just talking about him. Charlie Crist.
Charlie Crist.
Yeah, we are going to send money. Because Charlie Crist needs to get his butt in office. And please tell me Cotton is up. I gotta check. I gotta do my research.
Cotton.
Because Arkansas, Denise, I'm about to blow up, but I'm gonna do it at the end. I'm about to blow up. Because see, I gotta do it at the end so when the calls come for me from hometown, I'll be ready. I don't want them trying to call me now. They that kind of people. Because you know what we talked about.
We have to understand that when you don't have, the Republican Party has no viable policies. Their policies are all bigotry. They're based on bigotry. And why are they attacking transgender kids? Why are they attacking books in schools that normalize the unusual? I remember Aaron Sorkin, I believe, was the guy who created that TV show with Kiefer Sutherland called 24.
I remember.
It ran a couple of seasons with a black man as president. And Aaron Sorkin made the comment that he thinks that seeing this guy play president made it feasible for people to see someone like Obama in the office of president. So when you take away, there's a children's book called And Tango Makes Three. It's for elementary school age kids. And it's a story of two male penguins raising a baby penguin. That's one of the books they had removed from the school.
Wow.
Because it would normalize and create empathy. I have a friend, a Black upper middle class friend with sons. And she called me up one day and she was laughing because she said that her sons were watching MTV when MTV showed music videos. And she went and she says, I hope you don't think that me and your father are working this hard so you can grow up and marry white girls. Because she noticed that all of the music videos seem to be interracial couples. And the sons looked at her and said, Mom, we don't have your problems. We're the MTV generation, and that looks normal to us.
Wow, great statement though.
High school kid. I said, well, there you go. And so what happens is if we take the unusual, another person posted on TikTok, this guy just going off about it. He doesn't watch TV anymore because even the commercials are mixed couples or gay men kissing, and it made him crazy. But having that kind of exposure does begin to normalize it. And once it's normalized, it's acceptable. Or at least it lets you know if you're against it, you're in the minority.
So this is their plot, or their plot, a way of trying to, with black, because I wondered, I said, now, they have this litany list of books that they are saying that they are pulling. And I was trying to understand, why are you messing, why are you doing this? Because my first understanding, I thought, because I looked at them, I'm like, wait a minute, these are not just about Black history. Which I understood they wanted to try to take away, and we know they don't teach it the way it should be taught in schools, and we're fighting on that issue. But now, in that subject, African Americans are a minority because you have your gay issues. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's so much more that's over, that, as you said, we are evolving. That is what we're doing, and change is good. You cannot move forward in a progressive society without accepting that change happens, and for better.
And the truth of the matter is that they're not going to win. Hate never does. It just, the history of this country is that we take a few steps forward, and then they notice, the powers that be notice they're losing control, and they push us back 1 or 2 steps, and then we take 4 steps forward. And that's just the way it works. What happens is we don't have the luxury of getting exhausted by the fight. We don't have the luxury of rolling over. We don't even have the luxury of saying it doesn't affect me. You know, you and I talked this week when I said, you know, straight people have to stand up about the oppression of gay people. It can't be a gay issue. It has to be a human issue. We have to look at it as human rights violations. Taking away a woman's right to choose is a human right violation. Telling teachers you'll go to jail if you have a discussion with a kid about his sexual or her sexual identity, because that kid reached out to you, you'll go to jail. Telling parents, if you're helping your child with gender affirming medication who wants to transition, they're going to call child services on you and remove the kid from your home. This is insanity. This is wedge issues based on fear, and the fear of society evolving to represent everyone. Because up until now, it has only represented white, straight men. And it terrifies them.
Wow, that was deep. Guys, we're going to take a minute. We're going to pay a bill or two. We're going to show you a video, because since she brought up hate, we were watching, we're going to show you the video. Denise and I were watching the hearing, if that's what you want to call it. I called it a spectacle. We'll talk about it. We're going to pay a couple of just a bill or two by doing some advertisement, and we're going to start with that video. We're going to come back and talk about
Marjorie Taylor.
Yeah, Denise, she's such an angel. Go ahead and say her name. You're such a good woman. Such a
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene testifying under oath that she does not remember urging President Trump.
Well, Maureen, you point out that is not just about this pushback against Disney today, that Florida.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene testifying under oath that she does not remember urging President Trump to impose martial law to stay in power after he lost the election. A group of Georgia voters is seeking to disqualify Greene from running for re-election because of her alleged role in the January 6th Capitol riot. At the court hearing today, Congresswoman Greene repeatedly deflected questions about her involvement in the insurrection.
Anyone ever mentioned to you the possibility that there might be violence in Washington on January 6th, 2021?
I don't remember.
My question is just about whether anybody at all ever mentioned to you the possibility of violence.
I don't remember.
Okay, so you're not denying it, you're just saying you don't recall.
I don't recall.
So what happens next? Attorneys on both sides are expected to submit briefs by next Thursday. The judge says he'll make his recommendation about a week after that. So regardless of what happens, Congresswoman Greene could still appear on the primary ballot when early voting begins on May 2nd.
Back. Liar, liar, pants on fire. On fire, fire. I'm going to tell you something, and I said it to Denise. I don't mind saying it to you guys because y'all know how I am. I'm the asshole. But I like getting in trouble. Good trouble. And I say this because she was lying in such a way.
Well, Maureen, you point.
She was lying in such a way that I couldn't even begin to understand how the liar let the lie wrap up the liar. And that make any sense to you. What I wished is that there were a few people standing around her. I didn't want them to be there because I was worried about them, because if they were, it seemed like it wasn't any more than 2 feet separating them. And I wish that old saying when they used to say, let lightning, you lying so much lightning gonna just strike you down. I could just see that boat take her and snatch her ass out that seat. And everybody looking, there's just a hole in the seat. But the problem about it for me is the judge as well. Seems like he was really falling for it. If that's the word I can use, Denise. It's like
he was very solicitous of her. You know what I'm saying? Very endearing of her. And as I told you earlier, it was that whole Southern white belle thing, you know, and protecting her. And it was, yeah, I wasn't really comfortable with his behavior. He seemed very solicitous to make sure that she was comfortable, and you know, he gave the prosecutor the guy representing the people who brought the charges. He gave him permission to treat as a hostile witness, and then he didn't let him treat as a hostile witness. But she was well coached. You know, I had to do a deposition once, and I went in for my coaching, and what they said was, if there's something you don't want to say, I don't recall, I don't remember, I don't recall, I don't remember. Don't say I don't know, because they only ask you questions they already have the answers to. That's why every time she said, I don't know, or I don't remember, he's like, oh, let's play the tape. And the one about, did you call Nancy Pelosi a traitor? Then he goes, oh, wait. I remember now.
But see, that's the thing though. Now you remember. But you didn't recall. That heifer younger than both of us.
I look at it this way.
She had amnesia. Listen, what I want to tell, listen, if you are in the state with this woman, there's a man running against her. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to cut a check for him. Because I'm scared to have that type of a person in that position, in that state. She is obviously for sure, she's so much of a Trump supporter, they probably wake up beside each other every morning.
Well, because of her behavior, she was stripped of all of her committee assignments. She's basically nothing to do but go in and vote. She has no impact other than her singular vote. But what she does have is tremendous fundraising ability. She's got all the money because she's crazy like that, and the crazy send her money.
What do we do? Do we need to get crazier?
No. The question is, if you're not working on any committees, you're not really able to represent your district. So the question becomes, how red is her district? If it's super red, because no one's running against her in a primary, so she has a clear field. So the question becomes, I've seen interviews where people are saying, you know, she's embarrassed me. I don't like her. I don't want her in there anymore. But people are also saying she's in there doing what I sent her to do. So it comes down to the electorate. But the bottom line is she has no impact other than her vote.
Well, all I know is I've been trying to call out her and DeSantis. Alan, I hope I'm not saying his name right. He didn't have respect for me to do this. And we've already let people know that Charlie Crist, we're going to keep saying his name so that they know who he is trying to, and is going to remove him from his seat. Now, the problem I had with DeSantis, with her, I think that her days are numbered as well. I think that we're kind of tired. I pray that we are. I know that I am, as you said, a forward-thinking person. Forward meaning that, let's make that simple for everybody. That we are about what's happening and what's going to move us forward. And anything that's trying to pull us back, we need to cut it loose. We need to get rid of it. Because it's the same with anything. If you have something trying to hold you back, you got to cut it and let it go. So I say that to say, with her backwards thinking, and then we have Florida Fools backwards thinking. Denise and I had discussed it. We were talking about, I was looking Friday as I do on, I'm an avid now, back looking at my MSNBC and my CNN. I even watch Fox because I want to know what the devil doing. I don't want to catch me with one eye closed. But I see that DeSantis had decided he drew a map. But see, tell them tell them what we lose, not win, with his map.
What do you mean he drew a map? Map of what?
His map of Florida as far as gerrymandering.
Oh, yeah.
He drew a map. You know, just like Ted Cruz had this cute little old board up.
He eliminated, what he did was he gerrymandered in a way that eliminated the congressional districts that represent Black people. He cut the number of congressional districts that represent Black people. So congressmen who were in safe districts, Democratic congressmen who were in safe districts, are now not in safe districts. 1 or 2 districts got totally eliminated. So they got no place to run for. 2 districts, okay.
One was Val Demings.
And a man named Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
Congressman Lawson. Oh, the other thing, before you just triggered my memory. With the gerrymandering in Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene's district is now more diverse, meaning more Black and Latino people. So the change in her district may cost her election regardless. And that's why that brother has a chance. But the change that DeSantis did, it's going to the courts. He's not going to just get to have that way. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I hope the hell.
Again, it's the kind of news grabbing stuff you do when you're trying to have a national profile about outrageous behavior so you can run for president. Everything he's doing is outrageous. Like he could be the poster boy for the definition of what is outrageous. He is outrageous. His choices, his legislation, his impact, It's outrageous. And that's because he wants to have a national profile, because he's going to run for president. And that's what this is all about. He could give two hot thoughts about Florida. He don't care about no Florida. Florida for him is a stepping stone. And I believe him and Trump have had a falling out.
Oh, they did, because you brought that up, because when everybody else was stepping back to see if Trump was going to run, he was like, I'm going to run anyway. I forgot about that until you were speaking about it earlier, but I remember that was one of the people he conflicted with that Trump does not support anymore.
So what's going to be very interesting about the June primaries, I'm really excited about them, because we'll discover whether or not Trump has any coattails, that he can pull anybody along, because he's running around doing all these endorsements. A lot of his endorsements are what you and I would call of crazy people. And we're going to see if he gets them elected, because he's got this huge war chest and he's not giving them any money.
I was about to say, because remember, he announced he was going to run for president again the first year he won, within a few months. And those fools let him have access to the money.
But he doesn't give away any of his money. I think now and then he'll write a check for $5,000, which is the maximum you can give as an individual. But he's not trying to, he's holding on to that money because he's going to spend it.
Well, he can do more than spend it. He still ain't out of the woods. We just hadn't seen anything. Because when you try to go for ex piece of a president, you know, because that's what he was, but you still got to make sure you dot every I, cross every T. And I say that to say, you're not going to just run out and say, this is what he's guilty of, let's take him to court.
Well, the other thing is the investigations on Trump aren't over yet. But again, what's going on in Ukraine is sucking up all the oxygen. So I don't know when the last time I heard what was going on with the New York investigation of Trump. It's just sucking up all the oxygen, and we're losing. That's why I started watching C-SPAN so much, because we're losing our national news.
Yes, and that makes me wonder too, because I'm that person. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think deep sometimes, because all of this is going on. Putin that you're doing has taken everything away from what's going on with Trump, and what was going on with that would help make it really would help make sure for sure that we're ready and properly prepared for elections of November 2022. And people are not able to get the information that they need, that they would get from what MSNBC would be providing, and CNN and all these stations, because our heart goes out, but we're in the war with them almost, because it's an everyday coverage. Unless something drastic happens, and really we had to look at C-SPAN for the hearing.
Well, yes, right. And someone made a comment on my page about how come MSNBC and CNN and Fox broadcast the entire 11 hours of Hillary being questioned, but none of those stations were carrying Marjorie Taylor Greene. What's up with that? I'm just rolling that out there, that's an interesting point. Another interesting point. What's going on in Ukraine is horrible. What's happening to those European people is horrible. And I'm glad that Biden said, I'm gonna bring in 100,000 of them that have family connections to people living in the United States. Then why'd they kick out the Haitians? It's no different. They're being murdered in their beds at night.
That part right there.
The Venezuelans. Why is it that only people who are European descent get all this great compassionate support, but the people in Black and brown countries who are being murdered and raped and their villages burned down, they're being treated like annoying dirt? I I have an issue with that. I don't know where to go with it yet. I'm going to arrive somewhere, but I can't help but notice the contrast.
That's because because you see it and you calling it like you see it.
You know, so it's still, if you white, you all right.
If you're black, step back. Hell, I say it for. If you're black, get your ass back. If you're just dark, you can't come in this park. You understand what I mean? And I'm glad you brought it up because you done opened up the monster. Because I also didn't like when we were watching what was going on. My heart goes out. Anyone, woman being raped, all of this, my soul cries out. But see, my soul cries out. But then I see you, and I see black students, and I see them trying to get on a train. You won't let them on. You're pushing them back. I don't know if their bodies are in the ground. I don't know what's going on with my ball player that's over there right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't understand for two reasons. One, if that was LeBron James, y'all been got his ass back over here, and it's not negative. That's the male side, you know, talking about how men are versus women. Secondly, she's black.
Let's talk about something else. We're talking inequities here. Why was she playing professionally in Russia? Because the WNBA players get paid, those women get paid $20 an hour, pre-tax money. So she can't take a season off because she's paid as much as the merchandise person in Target. That's disgraceful. And the corporations are making billions of dollars on her talent.
When I say we got to make some change and we finna stir up some trouble, I can feel him. I can feel him, girl. He's praising us. I'm telling you, John Lewis is on it. Because, see, these are the things that you got to talk about. $20 an hour. Let me tell you something. I pray. This is the one time this woman is always right. I pray is wrong. You couldn't get me out of my... You couldn't get me to put on one shoe for $20 an hour in this day and time. With what I know and what I've been through and what I've learned, and these ball players put a lot out there. Energy, everything, they give it all.
And she's gay. And she's gay. And that's another reason why they're not highlighting her. She's gay, black, and a woman. What?
She trying to get me stirred up. Denise campaigning to get me in trouble.
I'm just saying.
She campaigned to get me.
I don't want to take nothing away from Ukraine because I want everybody to be all right.
No, but every show we need to say her name till somebody says her name and tell us what's going on with her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because somewhere on this side of the fence, on this side in our country, there's a mother worried and crying for her daughter. There's a father. She has a wife that's concerned and worried. They're worried every single day. They're not resting. They're not sleeping. And we're going to bed at night. Well, then I love all of y'all. Let me tell you something. Joe Biden, Kamala, let's tell us something. Don't hope that it's going to be fixed. This is a life. Don't hope that when this is over, she might come out of the turmoil. We're dealing with a man that's already angry and very upset with us. And don't have no love for the gay and lesbian, the LGBTQ community at all. He's as evil as he could be. How she got snatched still, I don't believe she knows Russia. I don't believe she had drugs. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I don't. I'm going to give her more credibility. There are places you could play with fire. I'm not going to Russia. Period. Anyway, so I took my hat off to her for doing that. But if I go, I'm in compliance of every freaking law they have.
Look, when Kevin, my son, was touring with Fergie, and one of the countries they went to was Russia, and he was so excited, and he called me. This is when I was at the Debbie Allen Dance Academy, and he called me at the studio. And his ballet teacher, Madame Alla Hanishvili, who was the prima ballerina in Russia, he wanted to talk to her about how beautiful her country is. She told him, Don't look at nobody. Don't talk to nobody. Don't accept a gift from anybody. She went a whole list of don't do, don't do, don't do. So I believe that kind of coaching, if you will, gets done for artists and athletes going over there. You follow me?
Yeah, follow
I
you.
say that to support what you're saying, that this is a setup. This is a setup because Putin wants some kind of way, something to hold over our heads and cause division in America behind Ukraine. Because America went,
Oh, we
When
did. And if we hadn't did this, and we are the reason a lot of other people started doing this too.
the poll numbers on Biden are where they're at because people don't understand economics. They don't understand inflation. They don't understand price gouging. They don't, so they blame it on Biden. But when you look at his numbers about how he's dealing with Ukraine, high 50%, how he's dealing with COVID, high numbers. His numbers drag down around the economy, around kitchen table concerns. And I don't know what he can do about it other than continue to give speeches pointing the finger where it belongs, which is the corporations. They're calling it Putin's inflation. I still can't get my brain around that.
Putin
I
ain't
don't
got a
know
damn thing to do with the meat. He ain't got nothing to do with the toilet tissue. He ain't got nothing to do with mouthwash. And him and Mrs. Butterworth never had an affair. I'm still on that damn $5.49 for a damn thing of syrup. And I don't even do syrup. I'm gonna come home and tell my wife they don't have no syrup. They don't carry syrup no more.
Mr. Reed done gone up $1.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I don't even understand. You're not understand. We here. People, we are trying to help you understand that you gotta stay woke. You
Yeah.
cannot afford. You know, I don't want you to be as bad at me because I do it for the reasons of the love of what I do and wanting to make sure that I connect with you and I care that this much. But I'm up, and when it first happened and they had the nuclear plants and they were over in Ukraine, I was up all TV was on all night long. And I was waking up every hour on the hour.
Right.
Not
Me
knowing
too.
what I could do, but if something had happened and I needed to move, I was going to move that just like that. But in retrospect, that tells me that's the way we need to be about everything that's going on right now in this country. Because, see, the politicians, and here's the thing that we have to educate on. I was listening to what you sent me about D.L. Hughley. And I like D.L. He tells it like it is. He's a straight shooter. But we cannot afford to give up on the system because the system is what we're under. See, if you're going to give up on the system, you need to do away with the system. And if you're not going to do away with the system, you got to work yourself and fix yourself where you can align with the system. Because, see, you have the power to make the system work for you. But we're not doing that. It's not being done. We do just enough. We do just enough. And we want to depend on a system that is set up and developed with human people. They are not perfect. You have your president. Now everything that's going on, we're throwing it over on the president. Well, Denise is saying in every state, every small state, every big state, you have a governor, you have a senator, you have people who go represent you for Congress. You have judges. This is what Trump did. He appointed. This is why a lot of this like the mask thing, mandate with that fool who knew nothing about COVID, knows nothing about it. But see, here's the problem that we want you to understand. It doesn't matter what town you're in, how big your town is. If you don't like your mayor, do something about it. If the mayor is not giving the town what it needs, do something about it. The city what it needs, do something about it. It's the truth. If your judges are showing favor in the wrong direction or you're not getting what you need, that judge is appointed. They're on the ballot. See,
This judge was ranked by the American Bar Association as highly unqualified to be appointed. ABA said, don't put her there because she don't have the skills or the experience. The woman had never been in a courtroom.
come on now.
Come on now, is right. I mean, but what happened was when Trump was running, he got a list from the Heritage Foundation, one of the most conservative right-wing think tanks in America. And he got a list from the Heritage Foundation. These are the judges we want you to appoint. And he told people in advance. But folks don't understand what an important role these judges play because we've been spoiled for too long. So we took their impact on society for granted. We always trusted that based on the Constitution, when push came to shove, the judges would protect our rights.
You can't just see. That's the thing. And for black people, it wasn't doing it in the beginning. Hell, we haven't even went back and if we want to go there. Well, let's go back to the Constitution. We were labeled as with the cattle aside. We were not even human. So, and women were not even a part of it. So we can't really just, we can't go there because then we're going too, we got to go too far back. See, so but it's enough to let us know. Trump, these people are doing what they say because we are allowing it. You guys would get up. I was watching TV, and they were having what's that event that they have? The Snoop Dogg and everybody's is outdoors. It's
Coachella?
My eyes couldn't see so far back of how many people. I lost distance.
Mm-hmm.
You're out dancing, having fun. But see, Florida, in that building where DeSantis has his office, it should be a sea of people that my eye can't see. That he can't even come out the door. He can't go around the door to get out to go home. And it sounds crazy, but it's not. I said this when I first started doing shows. Nickels and dimes changed the course of history. We were able to get off the back of the bus and come to the front of the bus. And you know exactly what I mean, don't you? Nickels and dimes changed the course of history. They charged a nickel and a dime to get on the bus. We boycotted. Walked till our feet hurt, drove, did everything we did, but they made it there. They were there. They made it. They did it. See, we can't give up knowing about sacrifice. You cannot have comfort and convenience and think it's going to go hand in hand. It's got to get a little uncomfortable for you. And it's uncomfortable right now. You got to be inconvenienced sometimes. But see,
you got to shake the feeling that it don't make a difference.
Yes.
Because you do make a difference. Elections do have consequences. Ketanji Brown would not be a justice today if we didn't have this election. Every week when Trump was in office, he said, this is infrastructure week. Never passed anything. But now we have infrastructure. And I sure know our roads need them.
Come on now. And the part about it, when we hear people say that have a powerful voice, like D.L. Hughley, I understand their frustration and I get the intelligence that you have and what you see. I've been there, see. I had gave up. I went in the room and put my head, but I had put the blanket over me and everything, and I was under the cover down almost toward the edge of the bed, and then I realized I didn't have no too far to crawl, and then the phone rang, and I went crawling back up, and there was her on the other side of the phone. And then I had to come on up out of the cover and get myself together. But the point is, it's okay to feel that way. Don't stay that way. It's okay.
Yeah, even Muhammad Ali took a count of 10 in the corner now and then.
Come on now.
But he got back out in the ring too.
Yeah.
He understood what the rest was for.
Come on, rope-a-dope. See, you can't go in a corner and we can't tell nobody that. Let's stop telling each other. Even if we feel that, that's your feeling. If you can tell your child not to give up on life or dreams, aspirations, and to keep dreaming and the dream doesn't work without you working. Why would you say when the system is still here and we have to work in this system and this system is here and exists, don't trust the system. Don't vote in the system. The hell do you think is going to happen?
And as wacky as this system is, the world still looks to us to emulate what we do. No, America has not lived up to its dream yet, but we're gonna, because all signs point to that. We can lose progress by going to sleep. See, we went to sleep when Obama got elected.
Mm-hmm.
We went to sleep. You know, there's a great story about Martin Luther King being with Lyndon Baines Johnson when he passed some civil rights bill or other, and then Martin Luther King said to him, okay, so voter rights are next. That's the next thing you got to do. And Lyndon Johnson looked at him and he said, make me do it. You have to make the voices so loud and so uncompromising that it gets it on my desk to sign. I can't do it alone.
And that's the way it works. And if your voice has to be loud, that's the thing that, you know, there's a song I always listen to, is what I started my first show with. And what I loved about it by Puff Johnson, you know, rest her soul, she had a song called Over and Over Again. If you watch First Wives Club, it's the last song at the end of the thing. And she's telling you that you stood there on the corner with a suitcase in your hands ready to quit this place. But there was too much and too much to lose. So she's like, you gotta climb the highest mountain. You gotta shout for all to hear. Because you have to get up every day, because the world is gonna keep coming. The sun is gonna rise every day. You gotta be willing to get up, greet it, meet it. You know what I'm saying? And be ready to free it. And that means free yourself, scream it out, shout it. And that goes back, since you brought that up, Denise sent me something, and it was a memory, and it was Dr. Maya Angelou, and she said you should, because you should be angry. We're angry. You must not be bitter. Bitterness is like a cancer. It eats upon the host. It doesn't do anything to the object of its displeasure. So use that anger. You write it. You paint it. You dance it. You march it. You vote it. You do everything about it. You talk it. Never stop talking it. So we are already in motion with our anger. Where are you? And if you can handle the trouble and want to get in good trouble, come get in motion with us, with your anger. Because right here, we're going to dance it. We're going to talk it. We're going to walk it. We're going to march it. We're going to paint it. And if we can't paint it, damn it, we'll find somebody that will. If we can't dance it, damn it, we'll get a dancer. But what we're saying is we're not going to give up, and we're not going to let it stay inside us and manifest. No. And we're not going to sell you false information and advertisement. Like, just give it up. Don't give up on it. It ain't going to do nothing. If it wasn't going to do anything, I'm finna give you actual factual proof that the world has seen. I gotta go here. Hattie Mae walked through the back, giving 3 lines at the Oscars, Academy Awards. By the time Will Smith got his award, we're on the positive part of it now. I think he was the 5th person. Academy Awards been on for 93 years. If Hattie Mae had even coughed at the wrong time, they'd have took her out. She wouldn't have got that award. This man was able to slap somebody, go party, go home. We've come this far by faith, leaning on them shoulders. Let's go further. We have had Barack Hussein Obama, President of the United States of America. President. We lost young Emmett Till for a lie that he whistled at a woman. He had a mind and a brain that could have been president. And if you had told his mother when she was speaking and fighting and doing everything just to get justice, that in that system would be a black president, she wouldn't have seen it. Right. From there we have Kamala Harris, VP, Vice President. Let you know God got jokes. Y'all hated having a woman president so bad till you did everything in your power. Hillary Clinton helped a little, but y'all did a lot. Because the man you put in there versus what you tried to sell us that she did, we wouldn't be, I feel right now, we wouldn't be battling COVID at this moment. So God had a joke for you. Here comes Kamala Harris. Not only is she African American, Jamaican, Asian, you get what I mean? Indian? Immigrant. So we had a joke. Now she's your VP. Now if you were to tear Rosa Parks sitting in that seat tired as hell, feet hurting, and I ain't trying to move a movement, I just don't want to move my ass. And a movement was moved that there would be a woman like her, you understand, to be vice president. Now we have Ketanji. See what I'm saying? Miss Jackson, if you like her. You get what I'm saying? If you were to have told, it was hard enough for Ruth Bader Ginsburg to get in her seat, being Jewish. But if you had told her that your walk is going to open another door, and there will be a black Supreme Court justice that is a female in here, she would probably say, yeah, but not in my lifetime or my daughter's lifetime. So what I'm saying to you, DL, because Denise can't do it, is that in the retrospect of what you're saying, I understand. I hear you. I'm angry too. But there's too much that I've seen and I've laid eyes on and experienced and witnessed to know that we can make this system work. It ain't microwavable though.
Right.
This ain't microwave popcorn. See, that's the problem. When the microwave came, we thought life would be that way. You just push the button, 2 minutes, boop, 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 done. Everything that we have got, what Mrs. Menz Harris is trying to tell you, we got because we stayed woke. We stayed vigilant. When Martin died, he was tired.
Even the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, none of these great shifts in our culture wars were supported or carried out by the majority. Well, I should say participated in by the majority. The core. So we're asking you to be a part of the core. Because there's going to be 1/3 who don't want to hear it, 1/3 who agree but don't want to be bothered, and then there's that third that will fight. We're asking you to be a part of that third that will fight. Isn't it interesting that whenever they do a poll about Trump, he's always at 33%? 33% who support him, 26% who support him no matter what.
Wow.
That's the numbers. So we need to solidify our third. And quite frankly, there's more of us. I mean, that's just, if you look up national registration by party, you will see Democrats and independents, but Democrats outnumber Republicans, and match that with independents, it's even stronger. But I'll tell you something. There's a lot of people who gave to Biden's campaign to get rid of Trump, but they're still Republicans.
You sure right. Lincoln Party.
So we have our work cut out. We have to get educated. We have to know what our talking points are.
And you gotta have your plan.
Yeah, because they're gonna drive issues like about, parental control. That's not really who wants to disagree with parents having control. Of course a parent should have control. But if you want to have a control about how your child gets taught, then you should go to school and get a degree, because these people know what they're doing. What are you afraid of? Because that's the new buzz term, parental control. Republicans and right-wingers are great we're coming up with buzzwords. So that's the new one, parental control, so that they can take books out of the schools, math books, because it suggested that, you know, I don't even remember the example. It was so far-fetched. It was really, you took that book out? Okay. But again, they are right. They are right in saying that the tools that are being used to educate children now are not the Dick, Jane, and Sally stuff that me and you read, Dion. Mm-mm. It's about normalizing who truly exists in society. So the question is, who's going to go under the rock? Is it going to be the women who believe that we should have control over our bodies? Is it going to be gay people who nail themselves back in the closet because to do otherwise could cost your family their own well-being? Or is it going to be the bigots? I vote for the bigots, go under the rock. Because you never went away.
No.
But
you just got called back out, the dog whistle.
You were never popular. You were never popular. So it's all about whose voice is going to be the loudest. It better be ours.
It better be ours. All I know is right now, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to get ready to get up out of here. We've had a great time talking with you. We gave you a lot to think about. We even opened the door for you. You have a home here. If you have misunderstanding about something and you want to give up, you think you're angry, come dance. Come paint. Come talk.
Yeah, give us some comments. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, we really got to hear from you. Everything is going to come up. As soon as the show is over, it's there, and it is in the description. And go to I'm Just Saying, you know what I mean? IMJUSTSAYIN DJohnson@gmail.com, but it's up here. So when you watch that, please contact us. And when I see what you're doing, we're reacting to it. We're giving you what you're asking for. We're giving it to you, and we're putting it in layman's terms. It can't get any easier for us to do it this way. Lastly, and most importantly, before we get out of here, I want to make sure we address something really quick, real fast. Watching, and I was looking at my phone as I do real quick, and there was a young lady that was talking about addressing how they had kept this little young boy, I think he was around 8 or 10. Police, they got him for stealing a bag of Doritos. They kept him for so long, and he was crying, da-da-da. And she shared it with me. So as I looked at it, she sent me the actual to read. Under that were comments from a lot of people saying, I wish they did do good. He learned his lesson. He won't steal again. That's what they did to me when I was coming up. They should do that more. Now notice every comment, and I mean this, was by a Caucasian that had this comment. Not one was by African American. Now there were a lot of Caucasians that were saying that was cruel in this day and time. Well, here's where I'm at with it for you Caucasians that feel like that it's okay and that should happen. He should learn his lesson for stealing the bag of Doritos that inflation has probably drug up from 10 to 15 cents, maybe 25 cents when I was a kid, to $2. He could have been hungry. Could have been whatever. He's 9 years old. But in retrospect, with everything that's going on, will you borrow my shoes and walk in them for me, please? As a mother, a black African American mother of 3 black sons, and I have grandchildren and grandsons. My youngest grandson is 10 months old. Heaven forbid he would be 9 or 10 now in this moment of what is going on right now in this world. And he go in the store and grab something. I don't know for what reason, but you put him in your car in a time where I see what's going on, and you ride him around and he's crying and he's fearful and he's scared, and then you bring him to me. May God have mercy on you, is what I want to say. And what I want to say to you is, how dare you have not walked a mile to understand what we mean. We are not here just trying to blow smoke up your ass because we have nothing better to do. We're here because you're shooting bullets through our kids' chests and then through their head on the ground. it's almost just like you're executing them. So with this going on and everything going on in the world right now, and the climate that it is for the black or the dark brown-skinned child, we cannot afford for him to take a ride of understanding what it means to steal. You either, one, stay with him at that store, have the store owner call his parents, or you contact his parents, or you take him straight downtown where he's around other people, whatever's going to have to happen. You do whatever you have to do, but what I don't want you to do, Caucasian people, is say good. He'll understand. There's no understanding in fear. Fear takes away reason. What he'll be is traumatized. Now you have a young black kid that's 10 years old, 8 to 10 years old, that's fully trying to do something in this world, and he's been traumatized. And when that 8 to 10-year-old gets to be 21 years old, and the police pulls him over, and we haven't fixed everything because you, Caucasian people, think this is going to teach him a lesson. Well, you've created a problem. Because you have a traumatized young man, which may be what happened when you see the young man running from the police and getting shot in the back. Scared, trauma leading to fear. I'm giving you an ounce of prevention that will help because it's worth a pound of cure. Those statements that you're making don't work in today's society. That's in Mayberry, and Mayberry never existed for my color. So, when you want to speak, Caucasian people, remember the climate, remember the 60s, and remember you made it even worse in the 20s, because that lynching has become a shooting. And very few black children, black men especially, or women, make it home safely. Thank God he did. Thank God he did. Thank God he did. Because I would want to know what your statement would have been then. That's your lesson. You take that. And as Maya Angelou said, I talked my anger that I had for you. Think. Let's just do a time to kill. One quick second of these. You Samuel Jackson. I'm Matthew McConaughey. Imagine he was white. Imagine he was your son or your grandson. Little Caucasian boy. Maybe it was a dare from one of his cute little friends. Little Becky told him to go in and get a bag of chips. She'd be his girlfriend. Who knows? But imagine the one driving the car was a black man. And your son gets home to you and he's crying and he's terrified. Let me read the comments. Can you handle the trouble? We getting in good trouble. They need to get the people something they can feel.
It's only hopeless when you're not doing anything. If you take an action and you're moving, you feel progress. Because then you attract people who think like you. Because if you don't, then when you feel like you're lonely in your battle, that's when you get exhausted. But when you gather with like-minded people and you target your local issue, whether it's taking books out to schools or get on the school boards, go someplace, start small, but throw down your gauntlet, be a part of the fight, be a part of the victory. And I'll see you next week.
We're going to see you next week. It's been wonderful talking with you, sharing with you. And she said, please reach out to us because there is a place here for you. Especially if you love the late, great John Lewis and you want to get in trouble. Now, for all of you out there looking for something bad to do, we got you. And you're jail free. I promise you, there'll be no jail time. Come to Can You Handle the Trouble? If you love trouble, we love you. Bring us some good trouble, though. We got you. We can curve that. It's been wonderful. We want to thank you for being a friend to the show. Denise, I want to thank you for being my friend on the other side, always there with me. We have our 100th show coming up. We're gonna celebrate here. She's gonna be in the studio with me. We're gonna make it fun. I hope we're sober enough to pull it off. But anyway, I mean, one time won't hurt. It's a celebration. I don't know. You may just drink water. Anyway,
I mean,
Yeah, come on, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna go out. We're gonna let a group called the Birdland come in, and they're gonna sing "Thank You for Being a Friend," because we want to thank you for that. At the end, we have our credits. We want you to reach out to us on the credits. Please notice everything. Hit us on Instagram. Hit us on I'm Just Saying TV on YouTube Live. We're definitely on Twitter. And we are on Facebook Live right now. Okay, we're also on Anchor FM. We could go on all day long. And we're on Spotify. We're on Amazon Radio. So please know we're there. So if you want some trouble, it's a lot of places to find us. We love you. We love each other. And we are here to handle the trouble. I want you to have a great one. See you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye.
Hi guys, we're Tomorrow Bird and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. If it's a car that you lack, I'd surely buy you a Cadillac. Whatever you need, any time of the day or night. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? When we both get older, with walking canes and hair of gray, have no fear, even though it's hard to hear. I will stand real close and say, thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you for being a friend. I wanna thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Hey, hey, no, 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 yeah, yeah. People keep on learning. Soldiers keep on warring. World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Power. Hey.